This is Sway.
Sway.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake that fire.
Wake your fuck ass up.
That crust out you.
Yeah, that's a clip from a critically acclaimed movie, Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
And from that movie, man, one of the unsung heroes of NWA, in my opinion, we all knew the prowess of Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and even Eazy-E, but MC Ren, I felt, often got overlooked.
What do you mean?
As a lyricist. Like MC Ren was, to me, one of the most potent lyricists of that time, but because of Ice Cube's success and Dr. Dre, we didn't really kind of dissect how dope MC Ren truly is, and if you go back and listen to all those albums, those albums, 2 albums, and the music that he's done solo, you'll discover that dude was like very under-acknowledged, very underrated. And so when I'm glad that in the movie that they actually gave him a part in it, although I didn't feel like they gave him enough of a role and what his role was in that movie. But I invited this guy to come up here who played MC Ren to ask him, what the hell happened? Aldis Hodge is here, man. Yo.
What's that?
He played MC Ren in the movie. What happened, man? You to fight for your rights, man?
It's what's crazy about Ren is, yes, he's definitely underrated as a lyricist, but also as a writer.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at how much he actually wrote and how much he wrote on Straight Outta Compton, and I believe he wrote Eazy's verse on "Fuck the Police," one of the most famous, joints. So, he's definitely underrated, but underrated does not mean that he's not counted, that he's not successful, and that he's not dope. That man, my hat's off to him, and I appreciate him, giving me the go ahead to, he gave me the lob to go play him. I said, yeah. Well, when I first met him, we sat there, we talked, we chopped it up for about 2 hours. I was nervous when I met him because I was like, I hope I don't look soft. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not trying to look weak. Yeah. But we talked, realized that we sort of had similar synergy. Our energy was like the same tone in the way we approach things. There was a similarity there. So I understood why I was thought of to play him. But he's a real cool cat.
Real good guy, right?
Yeah, real good.
Did you have to memorize any of his lyrics? That you did a lot of scenes where you was behind it. You did a couple scenes.
So a lot of stuff which y'all didn't see in the film is that we did all those performance scenes. We usually, knocked them out full out, but they chopped it down to what you saw because first cut is like 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? We had to chop down to 2:30. We as a cast, before we shot anything, we all we re-recorded Straight Outta Compton album, and then we did a lot of stage rehearsals, things like that. But we lived in it, especially when it came to getting in the booth, because it wasn't just easy. They didn't go soft on us. A lot of people think they can get in the booth and be a lyricist. That's not true.
You can't do it, right?
No. Like my brother and I, we used to mess around with music a little bit when we were kids. We used to have a little rap group, so I've always played with the idea of it. I have a lot of friends who are musicians, but it's just not an easy venture. You actually have to create a personality. It's almost as synonymous to acting, where you have to create this, this character, get on the mic, and you have to be honest about it. Because I can hear when somebody's spitting and they're just playing around.
They're 80%.
Yeah. So you can hear it,
Hey, Aldis Hodge is here, man. Hey, dude, while we got you here, don't you think so?
Because it sounds like you got something.
You feel it?
I feel it.
What?
I feel like you got some verses on.
I ain't got no verses. No.
Aldis, no.
No. I'm weak.
You and your brother, okay, but you don't remember none of those Ren lyrics? You remember none of those Ren lyrics?
Those Ren joints.
Yeah, you remember none of those?
Karaoke
Give me 8 bars of
time.
Ren, dude. You did this perfect setup for Ren. You don't know Ren?
Just saying.
Yeah, okay, man.
Coming straight out of Compton. Another crazy ass nigga. My punks I smoke, my rep gets big. I'm a bad motherfucker and you know this. But the pussy ass niggas won't show this. But I don't give a fuck, I'ma make my snaps. If not from records, from Jack and the Crap, it's called burglary. definition is jacking. And when illegally armed, it's called packing. Shoot a motherfucker in a minute. I find a good piece of pussy and go up in it. Cause if you at a show in the front row, I'ma call you a bitch or a dirty ass hoe. You probably get mad like a bitch is supposed to. But that shows me jeez.
That's it.
Blah, 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 blah. It's been a while.
Oh, you did that.
And I apologize to the women. Sorry, I was just spitting the lyrics as written. I apologize to the ladies.
Yeah, it is,
Accept
man.
your apology. It's
Aldis
cool.
Hodge.
You said it was a long time ago. What years did you guys actually shoot the film? When
That was
you shoot?
2014.
Oh, okay. That's good.
October. Yeah.
And for what, 3 months, 4
Yeah,
months?
we did like 3 months.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
2014, because I believe, that was right before I jumped into my series Underground.
Mm-hmm.
That was right before that. Yeah.
Underground. See, I didn't know when I heard the expression underground. I didn't know what it was going to be about. I thought it was going to be about the rap scene.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to talk about.
Son, it's DJ Chocolate Skittles.
Exactly.
Coming
right.
at you with the nibbles.
That's what. That's not what it's about. I want to come back and talk about Underground. Aldis Hodge is here. 888-742-3345. Wow, that's a clip from the new upcoming TV series Underground, premiering March 9th on WGN America. The voice you heard, one of the voices you heard was Aldis Hodge, who's with us right now playing the role of Noah.
Yeah.
And we were talking about when when this first came across the table, I was like, Underground? They're doing a movie about rap?
Battling.
Another one? And then I started reading the description, and it's really a movie about the Underground Railroad, right?
Yeah.
Which was how a lot of slaves escaped the South and to the North, where slavery was being outlawed at that time. And people who helped slaves get from one point to the other were called conductors, and so this isn't a story about Harriet Tubman necessarily, right?
No. When we hear Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman's the first name that we know of, but there are so many unsung heroes that didn't get credited. So this sort of comes in at the inception of what it means for a group of enslaved people on a plantation who are hearing rumors about free black people and hearing rumors about this Harriet Tubman. So this is the group that we track as they fight for freedom. And I mean, it's for me, it's a wonderful project to be a part of, because at first I was averse to the idea of it. I said, it's a series, and I'm like, how does a TV series work for this subject matter? But honestly, when we read it and when we shot it, it's something completely different than I ever thought. I mean, it's a really great adventure for the time period, and that's what it is. I mean, it's so dangerous. There's so many different perspectives coming from these characters of the issue and how they see themselves. You can't trust anybody. You don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of gray area. I mean, sometimes you think good is good, bad is bad, the black and white, but there's a lot of gray area with this, so you never know what you're going to expect. But it's such a dangerous time. And it's dangerous for everybody. I mean, you have the enslaved Americans who are obviously, we know what the enemy is there, and we're trying to fight for freedom. But then you have, white abolitionists who, if they get involved, they're automatically, accosted and put in jail just because they're trying to help people acquire freedom. So you have this adventure where everybody is playing a mind game to a degree, and you're running 600 miles to freedom on foot. You don't have GPS. There's no Siri.
No subway.
There's no Uber.
There's none of that.
You
following stars, right?
Exactly, man. So you have people who are navigating using the terrain, using stars and cliffs and moss and this and that. So it puts you in a different perspective of trailblazing, man. But it's really an amazing piece of work that I'm proud to be a part of. But at the same time, it's so kind of eye-opening to me, because it's not about the occupation. It's about the revolution of this time period. And then when you mash the style of the show with, even the music, we open the show with Kanye's Black Skinhead, and that puts you in the seat of the roller coaster automatically. You realize this is an adventure. I'm running. You know what I mean? And the pace is crazy, man.
Y'all didn't choose the traditional old Negro spirit, swing low. I didn't do that, huh?
No, I mean, what they did was they brought in modern attributes. something that could speak to our generation today and tie in how relevant the issues back then are still today. Because,
people don't think, like, when we speak to generations now, it's just that people they can't identify with what was going on in this country at that time in terms of slavery. And then there's those who just want to not identify, just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very smart series. We have Ben Vereen here, who was in Roots. LeVar came up here too, played Quinta.
Yeah.
And they would tell us stories of when they would take on these characters and do these scenes. It was almost like a spirit came over them, and and they would really get shaken up by what they were representing. Did Noah have that moment? Or did you have that moment playing Noah at all?
A couple moments. I mean, there's a scene in the pilot where I've just been caught and I'm in a whipping shed, and basically it comes down to me dealing with the slave catcher and the slave master, and I'm begging for the lesser of two evils, which is don't brand me, because they would brand slaves, with a hot iron. They would brand them. It was pretty much don't brand me, beat me, or don't kill me, beat me. And thinking that this was the reality at some point, and this is how people woke up and lived every day, there's something off that you can't really shake off of you. But I mean, the beautiful thing about our set and our cast and crew is that everybody was there and supported each other. So, within every take, everybody's like, hey man, are you okay? What you need? And that made the process easier. And then it also made it really easy to recover when you step off a set and you have your crew there that really is about making sure that you're good. And but honestly, I mean, you can't really escape the spirit of it all.
Yeah.
Because when we were there, we were on an actual preserved slave campground. We shot at LSU Rural Life Museum, and then we also shot at Vacherie Plantation. So you're sitting there in a situation where this really happened. You're sitting there watching these shacks where it's 10 feet by 10 feet, but you got a family of 8 that had to live there, something like that. So it was the filming experience was very humbling. It was we were all honored to be a part of it, but it was very much an education.
Yeah. What did you walk away learning about that time period of slavery in America?
Well, I learned a little bit about human civility. That time period was crazy. Again, the great thing that the show does with giving you perspectives on different mindsets and how people just saw people back in the day. You have enslaved Americans who don't think they're worthy of being free, so you have that to deal with. You have the white abolitionists who don't understand the nature of slavery and why it even abounds. So you have them dealing with their counterparts, friends, family sometimes, who think something completely opposite.
Yeah.
So you're running into that issue, and at the end of the day, I realized I'm like, this show, is sort of the adventurous telling of one of the biggest deficits in human communication.
Yeah.
Which is just respecting one another one-on-one. But I definitely learned how to appreciate the simple things I have at home, like being able to just sit on the couch and take a minute. I mean, they had no breaks.
Yeah.
Right.
That deficit you speak about that was taking place in that time period, having studied it and having played this role, a role of Noah, and you probably a little more well-versed than most folks because people just don't study slavery. But in comparison to our times now, when you hear, all the adversities we're facing in this country, the racial divides, the inequality issues that we have, just innate prejudice that's in us right now. Is it much different, do you think? Other than the fact that slavery is now outlawed, but that those mentalities, how you said people look at things?
I think that overall there has been an evolution, but we still have so far yet to go. I think that in the form of prejudice, some of the same intention is there. It's the execution that's different. Because I grew up with prejudice when, back in the day when I was living in Jersey, we had the KKK out there, so we saw it on a regular basis and we dealt with it and we were, hit with it on a regular basis. So I think that people are still trying to figure it out, but there are thankfully more people that are against it than that are for it.
Yeah.
But, one of the mainstays or I guess themes for us as a crew is how active is your activism? This is something that we've been saying for a minute, and basically it's, if you see something, if you feel, wrong about it, if you don't really understand it, if you don't do something about it, does that mean that you are part of the problem? You know, if it really moves you to want to change or see a change, aren't you the one that has to take the step to make that change?
Right.
You know, because we all have a responsibility to one another as a culture, because at the end of the day, this is a story about American history. And we're talking about Americans and how they treat each other. So that's, you know, we have a responsibility to one another.
Man, this is good stuff right here. We're going to come back. We're going to open up the phone lines, 888-742-3345. Aldis Hodge is with us. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45. Aldis Hodge has joined us.
Yeah.
It's a new series coming on WGN America, March 9th. It's called Underground, and it's dealing with some of the unsung heroes of the Underground Railroad.
Yes, indeed.
Set in the mid-1800s, right?
Yeah, man, 1857. It's a good time.
Was it a good time?
Right.
It sounded like it.
It's a good time for education.
Yes.
You know, because it allows you to reflect. But again, it's we know what the elephant in the room is, which is it's not even slavery. Slavery is the mask, the vehicle they use. It's human indecency. But when you go at this show as an audience member, try to don't let that define the show, because your experience is completely different than that. You know, as I watched it, I said, wow, this is something completely different. So I would say go at it understanding that, you know, look, we're entertainers. We come to entertain. We made an action adventure show, you know, about such a unique time in American history. It's the pace is there, the danger's there, you know, the mystery is there. Even sometimes it sounds awkward to say, but sometimes the sexiness is there.
The sexiness.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
You know, and it's a story at the end of the day about American heroes.
Right.
You know, so dig into it, man, because it's all I can say is it's not what you think it is.
Okay, March 9th, WGN America.
I like the way you put that, because what automatically came to my head, hearing about the premise of Underground, I feel that it's going to be empowering as, you know, a black person just looking at the entire width of our history. But then I was thinking, you know, if someone who's white just sees a commercial and is like, oh, this doesn't have to do with my history, what would you say to folks who would just automatically dismiss it?
Well, again, it's empowering for Americans all over. It's definitely empowering for, you know, the white audience, because there's a lot of people that don't get credit for their contribution back then. You know, white abolitionists who did help us move. This was, again, the first integrated civil rights movement. So, you know, everybody had to join in. White people, the Native Americans, all that. So everybody has something to be proud of walking away from this show.
Okay.
And it's not the show that points the fingers and says, you're bad, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. It's a show that helps you understand the mentality of people. And for me, it's more psychological than anything.
Agreed.
So there's nothing to fear. People fear the context of the subject because there's so much shame around it and there's so much, you know, unease with it. But this kind of settles that, because, again, with it being such a cinematic presence to what it is, you kind of get lost in the story and you realize, wow, this is just good cinema. This is good TV.
Wow.
You know? But at the root of it all, everybody has something that they can take away and be proud of. You know, we're not singling anybody out.
Okay.
Because, again, everybody, you know, it's about American history, so we acknowledge all Americans, you know what I'm saying, for this time period, you know?
Aldis Hodge has joined us, Underground. Before you go, man, I know you got to cut out.
I'm you know, chilling.
You can hang out, but it's not you, it's your handlers.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I know you hanging out, but they don't want to.
I got a schedule.
All right, but give them. We got a parting gift for you.
Yeah, we do.
All right, gift.
Okay, so
can I take it on the plane?
yes. Well, yeah, you could check it in.
You could check it in.
DB is our movie junkie here.
That's right.
Yeah.
What up?
I came up with a little quiz for you. It's called the Railroad Rap Quiz.
Oh,
It's
man.
time to play Who Wants to Be a Citizen?
I'm gonna
I want to be a
fail.
citizen.
I'm telling you that.
Answer all the questions correctly, and you'll be a certified Sway in the Morning approved citizen.
Yeah.
All right, good luck, Aldis. How does work, DB?
Well, it's pretty easy. You're going to earn your citizenship by answering these questions, and they all have to do with either underground or train or railroad terms, since you are starring in Underground. I just broke some shit in the new studio. Just kidding.
All right.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. This is an easy one. If you get this wrong, you fail the entire quiz. Which hip-hop group released the song 100 Miles and Running from their EP of the same name? please get this right. Okay.
NWA, you got that. Go figure.
Yes.
All right, okay.
All right. Number 2, Pimp C and Bun B were a rap duo from Houston, Texas, known as UGK. What does UGK stand for?
Underground Kings.
There you go, baby. You
See?
got this, man.
2 to 2.
Okay. He's looking nervous.
Number 3.
I don't know.
Number 3, the song Runnin' was a major hit single for what West Coast rap group?
Crap, can't keep running away. I know the song, can't keep running.
Didn't we just play it?
You can't keep running away.
Far side.
Yeah, there you go.
You got it.
Get it.
I may have had a lifeline. I had a lifeline.
Somebody
I had a
gave you that?
lifeline.
I didn't.
God.
Don't worry about where my
False
lifeline
success.
came
Black
from.
God.
All right.
All right, you got 2
Don't
more
worry about
left.
where it came from.
True or
Well,
false? The
cheated.
song "Come on Ride the Train" was a popular song from the group 95 South. True or false?
Come on, man.
I know the song,
We know
but
the
brother,
song.
you dated me like I was like
We know
7.
the song.
It's okay. True or false?
Can I? I'm gonna use a lifeline.
Another one.
True. Is it true? Yeah, you think it's true? You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm
it's,
on the true side.
It's either true or false.
I mean,
I'll go with false.
I'm gonna go with her false.
You are correct. It's
There
false.
you go.
It is Quad City DJs.
Yeah.
Last question.
Oh.
The first episode of Underground opens with Kanye West's song "Black Skinhead."
Yes.
Which one of his albums did the song "Runaway" appear on?
Oh man.
Damn.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
go get that one.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
he
not
could-
college
Multiple
dropout.
choice?
Nope.
I'm your lifeline for that, bro.
Process of elimination.
Just say one, man. Just go ahead. Dark.
I don't want to say
Beautiful, dark,
808s.
twisted.
Second to last one.
Beautiful, dark, twisted.
Really? Thank you.
No,
Beautiful,
no,
dark, twisted.
no, I'm just saying
sure.
this. That one, is that it?
I was
All right,
gonna
cool.
say-
He's
All
right.
there it is,
Thank
man.
you, Sway.
Aldis
I
Hodge.
told you I was gonna. I got
had
like
the answer.
I got like 2 right, and then the rest my people got me.
Okay, there it is.
Sway said you leave with a nice party
You
gift.
get up at
Thank
the
you.
party gift right there. Aldis Hodge, continued success for you.
Thank you.
Looking
man.
forward to watching Underground March 9th, WGN America. Make sure y'all support this guy. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely, man.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.